Welcome to our exercise with Exos, little boot camp here today. I'm going to be subbing in for Jazzy. We've got a good workout for you. We're going to do an every minute on the minute little circuit. So we got a bunch of different exercises we'll do for a minute. If you can complete all of the reps within the minute, the rest of the minute is going to be your rest time. If you take the whole minute, you're going to move right on into the next exercise, okay? So we're just going to get started with a little bit of a warm-up here. So we're going to get down to our mat for the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to get down hands and knees. We're going to bring one leg forward here, and we're going to take one arm and twist all the way up. So we're going to go nice and tall, reaching up to the ceiling as we twist down and up, getting some good mobility through the spine, keeping that hip forward, trying to sink in to the hips just a little bit. So bending that front knee, trying to get that chest forward, and then twisting up. Good. Let's go one more on this side. And we're going to switch legs. So bring your other foot forward. And now we're back up and twisting. Nice and tall. Rotating through, nice and even pace. Really trying to sink those hips down and then swing that hand up. Twisting up through the back. Getting good deep breaths in. Okay, all right. Next up, we're gonna do our plank to pike. So just getting a little bit of shoulder and hip movement here. So I want you guys to pop up onto your hands and toes. And what we're gonna do is from here, we're just gonna push back through our hands, raise those hips up into the air, and then we're gonna swoop back down into that plank, nice and level. And we're just gonna push back, pushing the heels down to the ground, stretching those calves and hamstrings out, and sweeping back to a plank, and back up, just rocking back and forth. Getting a nice little stretch and stability on warming up the shoulders. We got a few more here. Driving those hips straight up into the air. Let's go, last one. And good. All right. Next up, we're just gonna do some knee hugs. So standing on our feet. We're gonna sweep down, bend forward, grab the shin, and pull the knee up to the chest as we stand up, switching legs, getting a nice alternating pace as you bend down, grab the shin, and pull up. Giving a nice rock at the top. Oh, lost my balance. Nice rock at the top. Really stretch deep into that glute and hamstring there. And good. All right. Now we're going to start our every minute on the minute circuit. We're going to try and get 3 times through here. But we're going to go ahead and start with our plank toe taps. So we're going to go down onto the ground and putting our knees up, feet back. We're going to extend our feet out and we're tapping our toes. We're going for 10 to 12 each side. If you can get that within the minute, then you got your rest time before we move on to the next exercise. So tapping back and forth, nice and even till you get to 10 on each side. Keep going. Nice, even pace. Okay. Now we got a few more seconds for the minute hits. Next up, we're gonna do our kneel to squat. Okay, so in a few more seconds here, we're gonna start on our knees, and then we're gonna bring one knee up, other knee up, and down, down. Switching the first knee up into a squat and coming back down. We've got 8 to 10 here on each leg. Nice, even, working pace. Make sure you're staying low as you come up. And finish. Good. Next up, we have our ITYs. So we're going to lay down on our stomach, hands out in front. We're going to go for 10 to 12 ITYs. So starting with the I, we're popping straight up and back down, getting a nice quick pace, trying to get 10 of each one into our minute. Just get those hands up and back down. Nice, quick pace here. Few more. And last one. Good. Next up, we have our kickstand RDLs, okay? So the way we're gonna do this is balancing on one foot, using our other foot as a kickstand. We're gonna drive our hips straight back, keeping that leg straight, lowering the chest to the ground, and snapping back up. We've got 8 on each side here. And go ahead and make sure you switch once you get to that 8 to 10 range. Okay, good. All right, a few more seconds rest if you finished your set. Next one we're gonna do is go into staggered squats. Okay, so we're gonna get a staggered stance here, one foot in front of the other. And we've got 8 to 10 here as well. So starting our minute, we're gonna go. Make sure we're getting 8 to 10 on each side. And then switching legs. Loading that front foot, getting that knee out past the toe, lowering those hips, keeping your chest up. And done, okay? Got a few seconds rest here. Next one we're gonna do is eccentric push-ups. Okay, so we're gonna head back down to the mat. I'm gonna be on my knees. You can pop up onto a regular push-up here if you'd like, but we're getting our hands down below the shoulder, and we are lowering our body down as the elbows fold down towards the ribs. We're going nice and slow as we lower ourselves down to the ground. we've got 6 to 8 eccentric push-ups within our minute of work here. Very good. Find your nice, even working pace, trying to get nice and stable as we lower ourselves down, really thinking about how the body is working and moving here. 8. Good. All right. Now, going back to the top, we're going to have our plank toe taps. Starting here, just a few seconds, getting into that plank position. Knees come up, popping up and tapping. We got 10 on each side. Nice, even pace. And I'm down for 20. Good, now we got some rest time here. Couple of seconds to rest up, and we got our kneel to squat. Okay, so we're gonna stay on our mat here, knees down, starting in about 5 seconds. We're gonna go 10 on each side, stepping up, ready, go, into the squat and down, other leg. Good. Getting a nice working pace. Ooh. Maintaining that low squat as we come up. A few more seconds. And rest. Good. Next one, we've got our IYTs. So laying straight down, hands out in front, and we're going. Hands up, I's, Y's, and T's. Nice, even pace, quickly moving through. We're going for 10 here of each of our I, Y, T's. Nice even pace, getting those hands up. Few more. And 10. Good. Next up, we've got our Kickstand Rdl. So getting up, feet about hip width apart. Pick one leg to balance on and hinging at the hip. Making sure we're keeping our back flat, lowering our chest down and popping straight back up. Only using our balancing foot just to keep our stability. Make sure you switch sides after 10. Nice even pace. And good. Still got a couple of seconds here. If you haven't finished up the whole 10, got a few seconds here before we go into our staggered squat. So we're just getting a little staggered stance, not too far. Then we're gonna lower down into a squat. I almost like to give a little twist as I come down, sort of really loading that front leg. Nothing too big of a twist, just a little Slight rotation as I move down and come back up. And switch legs. If you've gotten to 10, it's a magic number today. Good. Got 10 seconds before our minute's up. We're going to go into those eccentric push-ups. We've got another 10 on the minute, starting now. Nice and slow down, folding the elbows to the ribs, keeping the shoulders down to the back. Really going nice and slow down to the mat and pushing straight back up. And remember, if you want, you can always pick your knees up off the ground for a little extra challenge. And that's my 10. Good. Got a few more seconds here before we start our third circuit through. Might even be able to squeeze in a fourth. Making good time. All right. We have our plank toe taps. Okay, so popping up onto our plank position, tapping out, 2, 3, 4, even pace. Nice and stable through the hips and the shoulders. And that's my 20. Good. Got some about 15 or 20 seconds left here to finish your reps. We're going to go into our kneeling squat, keeping our low squat hold as we come up. Okay. Ready and going on the minute. We got 10 on each leg. Staying nice and low as we're standing up. And we've got 8 to 10 here. Few more seconds. Try and get up to 10. Very good. And that's my 10. Whew, those burn. All right, now we're back down on the mat for our IYTs. Starting our minute and up. Y, T, good. Just popping up, coming back down, getting that chest up every time the hands come up. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Very good. Few more. And 10. Good. All right. Next up, we're standing up. We got our kickstand RDLs. So getting that staggered weight onto one leg and starting our minute, driving the hip back, keeping our back flat, trying to get our chest and torso really all the way parallel to the ground. You want to have a nice 90-degree angle from your torso through your hip down your leg. as you pop back up. Okay, making sure you switch sides. Nice, even working pace, trying to get all into that hamstring. Good, and done. Awesome. Now we have our staggered stance squats. So getting one foot out, starting our minute, and go. Getting a little twist as we load that front leg. Very good. Nice even pace. Trying to keep the weight right over the midpoint of the foot. You should be able to triangulate a little bit between the inner knuckle, outer knuckle, and heel of your foot. Remember to switch sides. Don't get lost in the movement. Remember your counts. Few more. And I'm done. We got about 5 more seconds. So I'm going to head straight into my push-up. Getting down on the mat, hands below the shoulders. Minute starts. We're lowering the body. Nice and slow. Pushing back up. Very good. Nice and in control as you lower yourself down and driving the body straight back up. Nice and explosive. Should always be with some sort of tension through this exercise, even all the way at the top. Okay, good. All right. We're running a little bit short on time for our last, if we want to go one more time through. So we're going to go ahead and supplement a little bit here and just do a couple of core exercises and then stretch things out a little bit, okay? So first one we're going to do is a strict pillar pose or plank. So we're going to get our forearms down on the ground, about 90 degrees with the shoulder. We're going to drive the feet back, knees come up, and we're holding for 30 seconds here. Nice and tall, getting the hips flat with the shoulders, sucking that belly button up to the spine, keeping that tummy up off the ground, hips nice and flat. Holding a nice flat pillar pose. And down. Next up, we're going to go into our side plank. So flipping over onto our side, getting the elbow below the shoulder. We're going to extend the feet out as the knees come up. With the hips, you want a nice straight line all the way from your shoulder through your hips, through your ankles. And we're holding up nice and tall. And switching sides, flipping over, getting that elbow down, and we're popping the hips and knees up. Getting nice and high off the ground. Getting that nice straight line from the shoulder, through the knees, through the heels. Nice and tall. And down. Good. Last one before we stretch out. We're going to get some leg lifts in, okay? So we're going flat onto our back. Hands go below the hips. We're going to extend the feet out. Pick the heels up off the ground about 3 to 5 inches, and we're going to sweep the toes up and slow and control back down. Give a quick tap to the floor and coming right back up. Nice and slow and control. Really try and think about all of your abdominal muscles working together here as one big team, centered right in your torso, pulling those legs up, crunching all the way up, and slowly controlling the way back down. Good. Last one. Make it count. Nice and slow, real slow on the way down. And drop. Good. Nice job. We're going to stretch out a little bit now for our first one. We're just going to get into a deep squat, okay? So we're going to get a stance. It's a bit wider than hip width. We're going to flare the toes out just about an inch or two. So pick the toes up, twisting out, and we're just going to drop down into a squat here. You can lower your chest over the ground. And then once you get into that low, you want to try and sit back into the heels. Get those elbows inside the knee, pressing the knee out. Just trying to open up those hips here and sit that weight back onto the heels. If you're having trouble keeping the chest up, you can get your feet a little bit wider. Bring your hands down to the ground. Keep those elbows inside the knee and just press those knees apart, opening up the hip right as you lean forward into the ground. Deep breaths in, big exhales out. And coming back out and standing up. We're going to reach nice and tall all the way up to the ceiling, reaching high, 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 and folding forward down towards the toes, letting our shoulders drop and carry our backs down to the ground. So you want to use your shoulders and your arms, weight to just kind of let your chest fall down from the weight of your arms. Keeping those knees as straight as you can. If you notice you're starting to bend a little bit, try and reset, straighten out the leg, and fall forward again. Deep breaths in and exhale. Very good. Slowly, vertebra by vertebra, roll your spine up to tall and standing. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Appreciate it every time. Glad to help throughout the day. Don't forget, we got our stretch breaks Tuesday through Friday, or maybe Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. I've also got my abs and core class tomorrow at 4 and the functional fitness Friday at 12 on Friday. So hop into that if you can. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks, Quinn. Bye.
Bye.